this is a full house. Where is Dr. Babajide? Everyone is waiting for us. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Good evening, everyone. It's such an honor to have everyone here live and direct. Just waiting for us to get started. So I'm going to start sharing the screen. Okay. Hope I'm sharing the right screen though. All right. So let's do this. Okay, for some very weird reason, I can't seem to be able to share my screen. Can you all hear me? Can you hear me? Please let me know.
Yes, we can hear you very clear.
Awesome, awesome. I needed to increase the volume. Okay, good evening, everyone. We are live, and I am trying to locate Dr. Babajide. I hope he's here with us. I believe so. I believe so.
Yes, I'm here.
Like I can't see your face. I need to see your face.
Okay,
Good evening, sir.
that's fine. Right here.
And I'm going to make you co-host. It's such an honor to have a sage, the legendary Babajide Macaulay himself. Guys, please, I want you to shower praises in the comment section. Throw in those emojis, clap your hands, jump up, do everything you can do to show that you're excited to learn from to be under his tutelage this evening. Please, if you're not speaking, kindly be muted. I want to see the chat room. Like, I want to feel the excitement in the chat room. I want you to show that you're happy to have him be here with us. He's reading, he can see what you're doing. So you need to blow that trumpet so that he can do and undo tonight. Except you don't want him to share from his wealth of experience, guys. You want to make you want him to be happy to share, and the way to a man's heart is to praise him. So let's praise him. Let's praise him. It's such an amazing moment. I mean, when I say sir, it's an honor to have you. I'm not missing words, and it's such an I'll tell you a short story. Before I met you, Dr. Babajide, I'd heard about you, or I've heard about Illumania. I mean, many years before I became active on LinkedIn, or even before I knew you. I remember I was having a conversation with a guy who happens to be the founder of a small financial company in Nigeria that has now become a global brand. And so we're having a conversation about how to grow my brand and build my visibility. And he said, do you know Illumania? Like, he's doing what you are doing, and you need to go and look for him. And I was like, okay, who is Illumania? How do I find this person that everyone is talking about? And somehow, because of it's just good to be good, and it is just good to be yourself. As much as I was dying to meet you, I told myself that, you know what, if it is the will of God, it was going to happen naturally. And we did not have to force the relationship. We didn't have to force the interaction. It just happened smoothly. And I thank God for making that happen. And that's a lesson for everyone. And I believe that there is so much that we would all learn from you tonight. And so I'm really excited to have you. And I believe that everyone is equally excited. You're a jolly good fellow. You're a friend of the people. Like, you're progressive. You are humane and humanitarian in nature. And so that is one thing that stands you out. And I can keep talking about you. So, guys, Don't mind me. I can talk for Africa, but hey, I'm not the one talking. I'm just Bisola Miriam. I'm not just Bisola Miriam. My name is Bisola Miriam, and I'm the facilitator of this session with Dr. Babajide Macaulay. He's gonna be sharing with us his personal proven methods, or we call it his hacks, or his strategies for winning guaranteed scholarships. He has won numerous scholarships and awards, and he will be sharing his wealth of experience so that we all can live here in peace, with clarity and with a sense of direction, and fully inspired, highly motivated to go ahead and perhaps get opportunities before 2026 ends. Most importantly, this is going to be a storytelling session because I believe that humans are meant to connect through stories. I want you to listen attentively as we learn from Dr. Babajide as he shares from his own personal experience. Pa, you're welcome.
Thank you very
That
much.
this is
Thank you for having me.
conversational. Yes, sir. Um, I am going to be asking you a number of questions, and then you will respond. That is basically going to be how the conversation is going to go. It's not going to be too
Okay.
formal. The idea is for us to have a conversation and for us to learn why we share or why you share from your years of experience. So first of all, who is Dr. Babajide?
Bisola, please, just a moment. I don't know, there's something interrupting your voice. There's a sound. I don't know if you could check
I
your
think maybe
audio
some folks
there.
are joining. I guess that's why we have that interruption.
Um, because I'm not sure where it's coming from, but I can't hear you clearly.
Can you hear me now?
So I'm thinking, yes, I can hear you, but there's a background noise
Oh,
from your end.
let me see.
I don't know what it is. Is it a fan or
Oh, I
something?
think I know what it is. It's my AC, my
There
fan.
is a sound.
Is it better?
Okay, that's it.
Yeah.
It's gone now. Okay, all right.
So the first thing is, who is Dr. Babajide or who is Babajide Macaulay? Tell us, who are you?
I'm just a Nigerian like every other person.
Tell us more. Like, you're not just a
But,
Nigerian. Are you from some? Did you fall from heaven, or are you a
uh,
Dua? Oh, the Dua
I,
fell from heaven,
I,
according to
I,
the story.
I was born of a woman. Anyway, okay, so I am an academic. That means that I am a lecturer in a university. So I am a lecturer at the Federal University of Technology, Akure, FUTA, and in the Department of Biology, where I specialize in environmental toxicology and pollution management. So, and I teach both undergrads and masters. Um, but that's my academic side. So on the sides, I run an educational consulting firm called Illumania, which you have already talked about. And Illumania is an online educational consulting firm that supports academic or provides academic support to students, graduates, and business professionals. So that's basically what Illumina does. It's not just scholarship we do. We do dissertation review, CV review, even research proposal writing, business proposal writing, data analysis. But it's the scholarship thingy that is the cash cow, because because everybody wants to japa. So since that is the cash cow, we decided to hit on that a lot. And that's why most people see us as a scholarship organization where we help people with support on scholarships. But we do far more than that. And it's not a mentorship platform, it's actually a consulting firm. So people pay for the services. Because I always get that a lot where people say, sorry, come and mentor me. Come. And it's not a mentorship platform. You come with a service, we do it. Or you come with a request and then we solve it. So, and for a small fee, yeah, that is affordable. And that's it. I've been dragged several times on Twitter that I'm charging people. But I'm not going to go into that. All I'll just say is this. It's a consulting firm. It's got a structure. It's registered with the CAC. It's registered with FIRS. I pay my tax. So it's run like it's not a side hustle. I have a structure. I have a team. I have consultants I have to pay. I have admin I have to pay. So it can be free. You pay a token for everything you do so that the system can run itself. And so that's just a little justification why you have to pay, and it can run itself. Even if I die today, Illumania will continue because there is a structure. That's the truth. So that's how I've put it in place. And yes, in a nutshell, that's me.
Thank you so much for sharing. Wow. You have shared a lot in less than 3 minutes or 4 minutes, right? And I must say that that was really apt. We're just getting into it. So I am going to take the next question. I have a list of questions, written here.
Okay.
Okay. So the next question is, let me read. When did you decide to go study abroad, or what was your primary motivation, and when did you decide to, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Yeah, I
I
can
said,
hear you.
what was your primary motivation, and when did you decide to go study abroad?
Okay, so in 2010, I graduated from the university, bagged my bachelor's degree.
Okay.
And then 2011, I was posted to Kebbi State to serve, NYSC. So just before I completed my NYSC, I had discovered that I was very, very good at teaching, passing information across in easy, understandable form. I could share very complex concepts in comprehensive ways. And I didn't just notice this during my NYSC. I noticed it right from my undergrad, because right from 200 level, I had been teaching my colleagues. Many of them often have challenges with some courses, and they'll be like, can you help us? And that's how I was teaching.
In an FE way for long.
The,
Piggy way.
the lecturer, they won't understand the lecturer, but they will understand me. And that was weird, because they would say they don't understand what he's saying. They don't understand the concept. But once I explain it, they will get it. So that was already a pointer to the fact that, it seems you have a knack for this thing, sharing knowledge. You really have a knack for it. So during my NYSC, something very awkward happened where I was teaching biology to GSS as well as SS. So, integrated science to GSS and biology to SS.
Okay.
So it happened that for the SS1, there was SS1A to C, SS2A to C, and SS3A to C. And I was teaching all the classes because the resident teacher was not just available. I don't know why, but I didn't care to ask anyway. I did my job. And so while I am teaching an SS1A class, and I have the same class with SS1B the next day, I noticed that students from SS1B will join SS1A. And I'll see them in my class and I'll be like, guys, what are you doing here? You should be in your class. I'm going to repeat the same thing tomorrow in your class. And they will be like, sir, we have economics now. The lecturer is boring. The teacher is boring. And I'll be like, what? Don't say that. Don't ever say that. And then I realized they enjoyed my classes. And eventually, before I finished my NYSC, I had to come to terms with the fact that, look, it seems you are going to thrive in academia. So by the time I completed my NYSC, February 2012, 2 weeks after, I just received a phone call from my HOD saying, are you not aware that we are retaining our best first class? I said, I'm not aware, sir. well, now you know, so come and take your job. And so when I ended up in FUTA, there was no interview, there was nothing. I just wrote a letter to accept the job. I got it on a platter of gold, and it's amazing because it's a very good federal school. And I know what happens before you can even get in. So that was really a testimony, I would say. And so by the time I got in, the next question was specialization. So now that you are in, the department is biology, what are you going to specialize in? So I started looking at the department. I discovered that we had only one environmental scientist, only one. And so I felt like, okay, to improve staff strength and quality of staff in the department, as well as the quality of delivery of the knowledge that we give in the department, it is good for me to cover that gap, in that area. So I started thinking of environmental science. And then, since I had been winning scholarships as an undergrad, because I had won total EPNL, EPNL stands for Health Petroleum Nigeria Limited. I had also won the federal government of Nigeria undergraduate scholarship as an undergrad. So I knew that, okay, let's find out whether there are scholarships abroad. And then I came across Commonwealth. So I was like, if there is one, what's the point sitting down in Nigeria and doing anything? I'm not going to sit here and do anything. I prefer to go out there and get international exposure. And that was how the scholarship search started. And then I later discovered that the Commonwealth had different types. In fact, there were up to 6 or 7 types. There was the Commonwealth Shared, Commonwealth Masters, Commonwealth PhD, Commonwealth Distance Learning. Then you have the fellowships. You then have the professional fellowship. You had the Rutherford Fellowship, but that one has stopped now. And then you have the medical fellowship. So there are almost 7 of them, including what is it called? Split sites, including the Commonwealth.
I remember that one. Mm-hmm.
So there are about 8 of them in total. So that was when I came across them, and then I discovered again that Commonwealth Share didn't require you to go to Abuja for interview and all of that. You just apply directly to the university. The university will do the assessment and pick you. I liked that option. I applied. And then I applied, and the Commonwealth Share gives you an opportunity to apply to as many as possible. So I tried nine schools and courses. Now, apart from environmental science, I was also drawn to public health. So I was applying for public health and environmental science. Now, the miracle that happened here is that I had done 8 applications. Then I came across University of Greenwich, and I saw sustainable environmental management, and I was like, I can do this one too. It's okay, I can try it. So it was the very ninth one and the last one I did. The very ninth one. And that was the one I won. Wow. Because the other 8, they did not even put me on reserve. I wasn't even on reserve. I was rejected, like, outrightly. But the very last one I did, the 9th one, was the one I won. And so that was, and why did I have to try so much and win it and lose so many? I had no mentor, no one to guide me. I was doing everything alone. In fact, I was learning on the job. And so because
no coach, no sense
no coach, nothing, nothing. I was just making all kinds of errors. And the funny thing is, I'm a product of failure, and it's made me so good at what I do today.
Guys, write that down. If you are a product of failure, you will become so good at what you do. I want to write
because
it down.
My experience is personal. So when I coach people, I always say, don't do this, don't do that.
Because you've been
That's because I've done them. Yes, and it didn't work.
Awesome.
So that's it.
I mean, like, I'm already saying because really you are hitting the nail on the head. And I remember trying Commonwealth too. Nobody to say Bisola do it this way. Nobody to say do it that way. I would write recommendation letters. I would run from the office of one professor to another, trying to get them to write referees. I would send, at some point I had to even start emailing the VC so that they could help me get my documents so that I could make it, available for the Commonwealth application. And so there was the bureaucracy of the Nigerian government being involved in the whole process. And that kind of that was discouraging, really. And I know that there are many people who, have been trying to apply. It's not like they are not hardworking. It's not like they are not making effort. But it's just that they do not know that killer strategy, that special act, that proven method, that thing that just seals the deal. And that is what stands you out because one, you have failed severally, but because you have succeeded at it, people can come to you and say, oh, Dr. Babajide is your go-to person when you're looking for Commonwealth among many others fully funded opportunities. And so I give it to you, coach, because you did not give up. And you're not giving up didn't just pave the way for you. Now there are so many people who can lean on you, who can ride on your eagle's wing and say, okay, I want to do this. I need to go talk to Dr. Babajide. That's because you didn't give up. So I think it's a good lesson for as many folks who are listening tonight that you're not giving up on yourself. You're not doing yourself a favor when you choose not to give up on you. You're doing yourself and humanity a huge favor when you choose to not give up on yourself. Because when you become a better person, you would motivate other people. And that's why it's often said that if you light your candle, definitely you will give others the permission to shine. And so thank you for not dimming your light and for not giving up on that dream. I mean, that's what we're all here today, right? To learn from you. And so I'd like to go to the next question. I have them listed here. So the next question is, so many people are trying to join, so they're messaging and asking, are we live? Even though we already told them that we will be live, sending broadcast here and there. But you know our people. So the third question is, what were the challenges you faced when you began to apply? I know that you've touched on some of them, but I want you to touch on specifically social, emotional, and financial challenges. In no particular order, I just want you to address social, emotional, and financial challenges. And how did you face, how did you overcome them? How did you overcome each of those challenges, all of those challenges that you faced?
Okay, yeah. So you said social, financial, and emotional, right? Okay, so social challenges, I didn't have much challenges concerning social challenges, really. I had a team I was working with during that time, even though we had no mentor. So I had some peers from FUTA. One example is Dr. Emmanuel Dansu Emmanuel. I don't know whether you've heard of him. He's also very popular. So we all started off the same time. We graduated the same year. So I had that group of friends that we worked together, try to sharpen the edges of our sword, encourage each other. But I didn't really have much of a social challenge. In terms of emotional, each time the rejections come, yes, I will experience an emotional breakdown, but that will only last for 3 days. I pick myself up again, I continue. Because the Commonwealth was not the only scholarship I tried.
What comes to mind?
Huh?
When those moments you have those emotional challenges, what goes in your head? Like what goes on in your head when you were having those emotional?
Well, I just, it's just like a disappointment, but it's so painful. A very painful disappointment because when you have put your mind in something and you feel like you are going to get it somehow, and eventually it comes out as a rejection. It can break you, especially when the results start coming up for the Commonwealth. First school, rejection. Second school, rejection. Third school, rejection. Fourth school, rejection. Fifth school, rejection. Sixth one, rejection. You know, it will get to you and you just be like, ah, this first class is not helping me.
I tell you. I tell
first class. This first class not help me.
Happy. And you know,
I'll just be like, what is happening?
Feel like with the first kid, the road will be so smooth. So now, say something to those who are the bookworms here. I want you to say something to the bookworms. Does it make sense to just have good sense and not have common sense?
Now, the truth of the matter is, you can get a rejection with your first class. That's not hard.
Tell them.
That's not even whatever, because that has happened several times to people. Because the issue is not about the first class, it's about the quality of your application. If you don't write your essays well, you will be rejected. Nobody will care about your first class. Awesome. And I think that was where I got it wrong. I didn't have someone to guide me. So there was something wrong I was doing with my application. Something wrong. And I discovered that later anyway. But at that time, I didn't know because I was blind. I was just doing my stuff. And that's why if you try on your own without any guide and you win, you are damn lucky. You are damn lucky. Trust me, you are damn lucky. Because the Commonwealth is not easy to win at one shot. It's one of the most difficult scholarships to ever try. When you look at the essays, there are about 11 of them. So difficult. It starts with the development statement, you know, the impact statement, all kinds of sections, 11. It can be so mentally taxing, and then that's what makes it hard. If you don't have someone to guide you, you can be doing something totally wrong. And that's how I got all those things wrong, despite my first class. Anyway, so I had that emotional breakdown, and it's not just the Commonwealth I tried. I tried Erasmus. I think I tried about 3 programs on Erasmus. I didn't get any. I tried a lot of scholarships. Trust me, I tried a lot, especially in Europe. Oof. I even did GRE, my first GRE. I learned.
Tell me about it.
I learned my GRE. Boom. In fact, I was too proud and full of myself. I was like, is it not maths and English? I did not prepare.
No.
I did not prepare. I was like, is it not maths and English? I beg. When I got there, the way I take blue, I learned like boof.
So funny.
It was crazy. Well, let's go to the financial one. Now, for financial, there was a real problem. And the reason was that at the time I was applying, I was 7 and I was up north. I was in Kebbi. That's when I applied. So in Kebbi, where I was, there was only internet in my school compound. Let me tell you the miracle that happened to me. See, I was serving in a community called Bunza. In Bunza, there is an MTN mast, one MTN mast sitting down in my school compound where I was teaching. And that is where the internet also was. So the cafe, because at that time, you know the cafe thingy now, you have to go to the cafe to browse. It's not now that the cafes are now dead. Now you can browse with your phone. Back then, na cafe. So the cafes, they had built them in my school compound. So I literally get out of my building and walk to the cafe, while people in town have to drive down, you know, to utilize it. So it was like God just planted me there. Yeah. And so I had access. And again, the cafe was running 24 hours round the clock.
Wow.
So if I go there in the daytime, it's full. People are just there. I'll just go home. I will now go there 11 p.m. Everybody don't go out. Just 1 or 2 people. 11 p.m. with my Dell laptop. If you see the laptop, he don't old. Now, ancient of this. He don't, the laptop, oh my God. I'll carry my Dell laptop there, plug it in, 11 p.m., browse till like 2 a.m. Application, applying, browsing, applying, go home around 2 a.m. That's how I was doing for like 4 weeks stretch. And in the end, I tried a total of about 25 scholarships.
20 what?
25.
Guys, did you hear that? 25.
And I won 2 eventually.
25.
25, yes. Different
That means
scholarships.
you won
I was
about
just
10%.
trying. I was just trying. I was just trying. I was just trying.
1% in.
And eventually I won 2. So in terms of finance, I'll explain. The challenge was I was on Alawi. Alawi was just how much? I think it was 19.5 or 19.8. I mean, how much were we paid, Seth? I think it was 19.8. I think it was 19.8 or something. So, sorry?
I said it was 19.8.
19.8, thank you. I shall know that my brain is not going to fail me now. It's not going to fail me. So it was 19.8. Now, the way I spent the 19.8 is ridiculous, like a madman. So I was in the north, and one beautiful thing about the north is food is so cheap.
Yes.
So I could literally, in a month, I just needed to spend about 5K to sustain myself for food. 5K in a month. Food is so cheap. Apart from that, once you wear your khaki and you enter the market, an average northerner is happy to see you. Kofa, I am so happy to see you. Pick anything you want, anything. If you buy something of 20 naira, he will give you extra that is the same size of the goods that you bought. It's just ridiculous, but that's how it works. And so sometimes you get more than you bargained for, and you go home excited.
And I think you also had a boost. Your interpersonal skills were good. I mean, you have
yes.
skill
and they're happy to see someone who is trying to speak their language. Exactly. So when I get there, I always try to speak in Hausa, and they see that I'm struggling, but they're excited that I'm trying. And they always give me something in return. And to the extent that some bike guys will give me lifts to my house, just give me ride for free. Just wear your khaki and everybody is happy. Is that good. Now, so 5K went for feeding food, right? I still had some more money, like 14.8. And during this time, a lot of the applications, they would say, post them. It's not now that all that has ended. Now you can upload stuff online. Back then, they still allow people to post. So I will walk out, go to a postal office somewhere not too far. I'm glad it wasn't even that far. I'll take all my parcel, like 4 of them, I'll parcel them, post to the UK. I'm telling you, they will tell me, it will take 3 weeks, so I will say no problem. And so the posting thing took a lot of my money. I was spending close to 8,000, close to 8,000 naira just posting. And so I will just tell you that a lot of my money went into posting, internet access, and what's it called? So posting, okay, so the internet access is the modem. Okay, so this is what I do. I also load on a modem in my house, just in case I want to do something quick. I'll use the modem. But if I know that it's going to be something really long, I have to do some applications, I will go and browse at the cafe. So I still topped up the modem and make sure that MTN serves me well. So that was what took my entire money. I could not even save. I wasn't even saving anything. So that was the commitment I had about I must get out of this country to better myself. And it worked out eventually.
How soon did it happen?
Well,
your service?
the truth of the matter is, so it's a year long. You know, when you start the application, it's usually a year long.
Yeah.
Like it will open September, for example, September 2021, for you to depart September 2022. It's always a year long. So I started it 2011, around August 2011, that's when I started. And then by July 2012, results were coming in. Rejection. Then suddenly I saw
The good email.
we are pleased to inform you.
Oh, when you see we are pleased to inform you, it's something.
We are pleased to inform you is a good news, oh. Unlike we regret to inform you. Oh my God.
It can be so
Then
disheartening.
there is another approach now that I hate. They will use the first paragraph to start telling you information that you don't need. They will tell you that we are so excited and so proud that you applied for this opportunity.
But
10,000 people applied for this. Why are you giving me statistics? Tell me whether I don't win. They will use the first paragraph
to break the bad news softly.
10,000 people tried, so people number. It was so difficult. We had a lot of quality applications this year. Blah 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 blah. They will now go to paragraph 2 to go and say, "But we are pleased to inform you that you are among." Oh God, please just save us the stress and just tell me on time. Tell me on time if I've been picked. But that's the new approach now, because they feel that it's not good to open up with the bad news. Let's start off with something that will cool you down before we tell you that you've been rejected. So that's how it was. It was a year long, and by July, August, I eventually got London Metropolitan University scholarship to go to London Metropolitan University to study masters in biomedical science. I also got Commonwealth Share scholarship to do a master's in sustainable environmental management at the University of Greenwich. When I had those two, I did not need a soothsayer to tell me the one to pick. And I just went for the Commonwealth, and the rest is history.
I mean, look at how you made it. You know that song, they say, look at how we made it. And that's basically what your journey has been. You paid the price. You paid the price. I mean, you were affected mentally, physically, emotionally, financially. I'm sure you did not have time to buy shawarma for some
shawarma. Inside 98.
I mean, when some people will spend everything taking a girl out, or trying to impress a guy, or just one wave on. I mean, I know that these things are good, but sometimes you just have to, tell yourself, what is the sacrifice for my dream? What is the sacrifice for my goal? It's very important. It's very, very important. And I must say that when I began my application, I was married already. I had a child.
Okay.
And so, like trying to balance family, trying to apply, trying not to look like a bad parent, and trying to still make sure that, because there are days that you want to pay application fee and you are like, okay, everybody is taking their kids out. Are you supposed to take your kids out, or buy them Christmas pack, or pay for Christmas party, or focus on sending that application? So I believe that everyone would definitely make compromise or compromises. It's just important that you know that it is going to just be for a while. That struggle, that challenge would not last forever. I mean, look at you doing the whole thing for about 12 months, or about 12 months, and eventually it worked out. So if you didn't put in that effort and you didn't do it consistently, I'm sure 1 year could have become 7 years, because it was like that for me. I started partially when I graduated in 2013. I mean, 2014, I was just going around in circle, nobody to support, nobody to say, okay, do it this way. And so I know that there are people who are also married, or who, for one reason or the other, they have certain challenges that are not even financial. It might be emotional. It's also important that, some people's challenge or challenges might just be financial, some will be a combination of all three that you have talked about. And I like the way you have shared on these different fronts so that everyone can examine their lives and say, which out of all these challenges would make it most difficult for me to focus on my application. And I think I also like the fact that you shared on the fact that you had some people who were looking for the same thing. Even though all of you didn't really have a coach or mentor, you had a support group, like a support system of some sort. You had people who were aiming for the same thing. In my case, most of my friends had gone abroad. So I was a lone ranger trying to figure things out. And I think that it's something that a lot of people need to take note of here, which is identify your major challenge and try to come up with a strategy that helps you to solve that problem, if not permanently, at least for you to be able to concentrate on this dream so that you can move to the next level. I mean, the dividends that you would end up getting, I mean, we can't even overemphasize it. It is beyond the money. And I know that you can also attest to that. I guess one of our questions would, would take us there. So let me go to the next question, our leader. The next question is, so now, what was your visa experience like? What was your visa
Oh,
experience like?
my visa experience was actually very smooth. I didn't have a problem. It was so smooth. Well, maybe because it's the UK. The UK, you don't have a problem. It's US that used to have you know what I mean.
Wahala
That US,
koko.
that US,
I
day
was
one
a
kind
victim. I was denied visa the first time too, and it was so disappointing.
you were denied.
Yes, even though I had
Wow,
fully funded, even though
wow.
I went with a fully funded offer. I mean, it's a story for another day. I did a YouTube video on what happened and why I was denied a visa. And I could not believe it. I waited for this opportunity from 2013. I got funded in late 2019. I was supposed to go for my interview in 2019. I mean, early 2020, January. I got there, it was January 7th, and I was denied. The guy looked me eyeball to eyeball and said, sorry, I'm not going to give you the visa.
Wow.
The man, I was like, one more fish me. I was like, I wish I could just break through that glass and just eat this man raw like a vampire. It was so disappointing. I did not understand what I was going through until I left, and then I was playing back what he said. Wait, that means I'm not going again. That means all my effort is in vain. That means I will still be in this country. That means
Hey.
that means like it was so disappointing. I went home,
Oh,
I cried. I
ah.
cried, I cried, I cried, I cried. Oh no, I cried for months. I didn't get over it. You would think somebody broke my heart. It was more than a relationship, break, because it was so disappointing. I haven't waited for long, got a fully funded opportunity eventually, and then faced with a very terrible visa denial. And post that denial, there was COVID. Immediately
Wow.
after the visa denial, the COVID thing came, and I
Wow.
was like, oh God, wọ́n fẹ́ ṣe mí pa ni. These village people will not leave me alone. That was what I thought. I mean, so many crazy thoughts. So mine was more of emotional and financial. I would say all of the above because socially, I didn't have people who saw what I was doing. Some said you're just too ambitious. Stay in your husband's house. Where are you going to? Married women are supposed to sit down in one place. Like there was nothing I did not hear. There was nothing I didn't hear. It was really challenging from the beginning till the end, but I mean, we're here and look at how we have made it. We don't give up. And the skills that we learn, even on this job or in this quest, these are transferable skills. We can transfer
Yeah.
them to other aspects of our lives. And I know that Dr. Babajide would even share more on all of that. So your visa experience was what you were talking about before I interrupted you.
Yeah, well, for the UK is so straightforward. That's why I love those people a lot. Well, they will tell you clearly,
Mm.
submit the originals of these. There is a reason why they are requesting for originals. If you submit photocopy, they will not give you visa.
Mm.
So the first step to getting UK visa is following instructions. Just follow instructions. If they tell you to submit originals, because in my case, I submitted my original certificate, my original, gone. And there was this fear of, what if they misplace it? But no, they know what they are doing. You will get it back. You will get it back. But they want the original. And so if you have all the documents submitted, you pass the stage where you need to come in for an interview. And that interview, it will be done via Skype. At the time I did it, it was done via Skype.
Awesome.
You will see a white man at the other end talking to you. You'll just be asking you simple questions about, maybe mine was easy because I had the Commonwealth. And
if you were boss in the building.
And I will not lie, in the UK, once you win Chevening or Commonwealth, you be boss.
Treating you like king.
You be, because you be Mama Charlie Pikin. You be Mama Charlie Pikin, no be say go come. Your money is coming from government. Your money now from government. So the moment they hear Commonwealth like this or Chevening, it don't finish. Your talk, na small talk. So as I sat there and he was asking me, okay, so what are you going for? I told him, what school? I told him, do you have accommodation? I said, not yet, but I'll try to get on campus. Are you self-funded? No. Who is funding you? Commonwealth. Oh, interesting. You must be clever. Well, I'm doing my best. And the whole thing just changed. It was now more like a conversation. Oh, so why do you want to study in the UK? Well, it's a better place to study, more resources, more access to equipment, this, that. So that's just the reason. And the exposure. Okay, all right. Why UK especially? Well, it makes sense. You guys have been with us for a while before you left us. I didn't want to say that you colonized us. I said you've been with us for a while before you left us. And so the system is similar. You know, the system is similar, and we both speak English. So yeah, it's the first choice in my heart. Okay, good. Thank you.
Like you were busy stroking their ego.
Anyway, it was so smooth. I didn't have a problem twice, you know, because when I also won it for my PhD, it was the same thing, and it was smooth, no issues.
So I've never been back to Africa before you went for your PhD, or did you continue?
Yeah, I did. I was in Nigeria for 2 years. I was with FUTA.
Okay.
For 2 years before I left again for my PhD. Awesome. That's why you would see 2012 and 2015 Commonwealth Scholar. So you'll be wondering, that's 3 years in between. What's going on? It's even more than that, about 4 years. So the first year to 2013 was when I finished my master's. Then I got back to Nigeria. So 2014, 2015, it was 2015 ending that I then left for my PhD. So that's why there's that gap in between.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. So let me ask this question. Do you believe in miracles, Dr. Babajide? Do you believe in miracles?
Oh, yes, I do. I'm a scientist. I'm a scientist, but I also believe in supernatural things. And a miracle is one. Yeah, I'm a Christian scientist, by the way. I need to let that out. Boom. I'm not an atheist. Huh? Okay. I'm a Christian, not an agnostic. I'm a Christian, and I'm a scientist as well. Practicing one, well-bred scientist to the core.
Tell them.
Well-bred, thoroughbred. So yes, I believe in miracles. I believe that not everything can be explained by logic.
If yes, tell us.
Not everything can be explained by logic. And so, as a result, in fact, the funny thing is, if you believe that man is limited, man has there is a lot of human errors when it comes to human affairs, then it means that You can't always think everything can be explained in terms of logic. You can't always think so. And the world is so complex that even the human brain is so limited to understand it. We are still trying to understand everything daily. A good example is space. When you look at the complexity of space, you see that there are so many things we still don't understand. You know, we still don't understand. So yes, I do believe in miracles, and I have personally experienced them.
Can you share one or two, or share some, one or two?
Well, the way I got the Commonwealth is a miracle itself.
How?
Because I had done 8 applications, and suddenly I came across this 9th one for a reason I don't understand till today. And when I saw the 9th one, the deadline for the scholarship to close was 48 hours in 2 days. And I saw the 9th one, and I could easily have said, I beg, I don't do it, Joe. I could easily have said that. But I don't know why I felt motivated to try the 9th one. And I just put in the 9th one quickly before the termination of the 48 hours and submitted. And it was the 9th one I won. It is the 9th one that got me my master's. The 8th that I did, rejection. I was not even placed on the bench. Rejection, straight.
No wait list. No, we'll get back to you if something happens.
I say the coach did not even take me to the venue. Is that bad? You know, when coach takes you there and you are sitting
have hope. You're on the bench.
You have hope that at least
they left
somebody's leg
they went to the airport.
At least you can have hope that if somebody's leg break, coach will say, okay, you are next. Come up. Yeah, put on your studs and everything, and I'll be onto the pitch, right? This one, coach no even carry me go field. So it was crazy. So that's a miracle in itself. Awesome. And yeah, don't let me bore you guys with so many information, but I've experienced miracles different times in my life.
Very recent. Can you share a recent one?
A miracle. Well, in recent times, let me see, you know, this miracle thing, they just don't happen. They happen once in a green moon. Once in a green moon. But I would share one. It's not recent, but I'll share one that happened in 2014. Myself and my mom, we traveled to the UK for my graduation.
Okay.
And the miracle that happened was on our way back, we got stuck on A2. So there is this road called A2 in UK. It's very, 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 very long. I think it's the road that gets you to Heathrow. So for a reason we can't explain, there was this massive hold up. We got stuck on the way, and by the time we got to the airport, it was 1 hour to departure. In my mind, I thought we still had time. So I just walked in. The next thing, they didn't allow us check-in. They said the thing don't close. He don't do anything. He don't close. That we will have to go and pay for, to change flight to another airline, or should I say another flight. You have to change the schedule to another flight, but that means we'll have to pay about 100 and something pounds. Oh God, and we have spent all the money. You know, when we went to go and do dancing and wearing gown, and that, and we're just entering every store, picking, and my mom still can shop for Africa. She was just picking and picking, including things that she needs and things that her grandsons and granddaughters, she was just picking. So we had finished all the money. And when we got there, they were now talking about 100 and something pounds. I was like, come again, 100 and what? My mom did not even calm down at all. She just went on them straight. What is happening here? We don't have any money. Oh, there is no money. she just sparked for them one time. I had to be saying, Mom, please, don't embarrass me. I was still speaking English, big English. My mom was just parrying for all of them that, look, we don't have any money and we have to live here. So eventually they didn't accept. They said it's the law, it's what it is. They are not going to do anything. And eventually, you know what happened? What happened was we eventually saw this man. He was sitting down somewhere, and then my mom was just like, maybe we should go and speak to him. We didn't know that man was even their boss. So she went to speak with him. He was black. He now happened to be a Nigerian. And this man just said, madam, they just switch it to Niger. Mommy, so kilo wa shele te fi late. I was talking I was talking kini kon. So after explaining to him, then he now said, there is only one person that can change this rule. There's only one person. And he now said the person is the pilot. The pilot is the person that can change this. And then when he said that, he now said he will call the person, and if the pilot should say no, that's it. But if he calls the pilot and the pilot says yes, then we'll go. Imagine he wants to call the pilot. So we stood there. My mom has started doing her Oluwajo, Oluwa Bakoso. He called the pilot, and shockingly, the pilot said, okay, fine, we'll wait for 15 minutes. And that's how we started running. We went through the expressway. We didn't have to go through the part where they had to check you in, where they check out for your, what is it called now? What you put on your the metals that are in you. They'll tell you to pack everything out, everything. Then you go through the metal detector and all of that. So they had to check you out and all of that. We didn't have to go through that. We just went through the express lane, got ourselves into the plane, and everyone in the plane started looking at us and doing, what's wrong? What's wrong with these people? They kept us here. You know, the plane was so white, so we were so black. And I could tell what they were thinking of. In their heads, they were probably thinking, these blacks are always late. They are late again. But that was the miracle. The miracle was the fact that the pilot still gave us a chance to get in, because that will normally not happen. So that's one example.
Thank you so much for sharing all of that. Thank you, really. Thank you. So we're almost coming to the end of the Q&A. I mean, the questions, right, from my end, so that we can allow a few folks, you know, to just ask some quick questions. But before then, I have one or two other questions for our leader here. Just give me a moment. All right. So the next question is, what would you say is your biggest failure or win, if any, or if at all, since you went to study abroad? What would you consider your biggest failure or win? Or you could decide to share both or one.
My biggest failure or win, to be honest with you, I can't even think of a failure, honestly.
Awesome.
Because I won't, the truth of the matter is, I've been so blessed. I've had this very excellent process through so many things I've done. The failures that I've had is usually the applications, because I've had a lot of rejections. But when it comes to the moment I got to the UK, I had challenges, actually. studying in the UK, the environment is totally different from where I'm coming from. But then, my biggest win, just to confirm, is it my biggest win so far, or is it my biggest win when I got to the UK?
No, so far in your journey, so far.
Wow. I've had so many wins that it's so hard. It's like I'll have to rank them. I'll have to rank because I've had a lot of wins. But I will say what I'm most proud of. What I'm most proud of when it comes to my wins is the fact that I could literally say that an organization I built has assisted more than 100 people. In fact, some of these people have gone on to become mentors. I see them now. They are popular. I'm not going to mention names.
I tell you.
I'm not going to mention names, but they are so popular now. And there was a time when they were in my inbox 8 years ago. They were in my inbox 6 years ago, asking me, sir, how far? Help me. But now they are hosting shows on YouTube. They are everywhere. And so I'm proud. I see them do all of that, and I'm just excited. I'm excited. I'm proud of myself. Several people have come through Futa to the extent that Futa now is becoming mentioned, like it's mentioned almost every time.
Because
I won't take the glory alone. There are so many people involved in the Futa thingy. I'm not the only one, but I'm so proud of everything that we've been able to achieve. So looking back at that, the fact that just a little help there, here and there is transforming lives forever, you know, is my biggest achievement or win.
Awesome.
The fact that, yes, the fact that lives are transformed forever. Because these people, the moment they travel out, even if they come back home, they are not the same. They are not the same. In fact, there is one that is back currently. Now, the guy is a drone king. All he does is everything is drone. I don't want to mention his name, but drones in agriculture and drone is number one. You can't say anything agriculture and drone and you will not mention him. And this is a guy that I literally saw through everything. And the whole process, so when I see all those, and he's back in the country and he's doing so well. So when I see all of this, I'm always, I always sit down, I'm like, Jide, pat yourself on the back, you are doing well. You are doing well.
Guys, put the oin in the chat. Oin, you are doing well. Let me see those who will join us in the oin movement. Put oin. Okay, folks are doing that. Folks are putting oin in the chat, and it's an interesting conversation so far, I must say. Oin, I'm sure you can see the oin also. Oin, like in different cases, fonts, italicized in bold fonts, and you know, thank you so much for sharing. So we have just 2 more questions to go. The second to the last question is, how would you describe living abroad and living in Nigeria? And so as you know that most of the people here want to hear the truth from you. They want to know whether
living abroad and living in Nigeria
or Africa. Just let's say Africa, because we have people from from Ghana.
Okay, well, I will be as honest as possible. We are fond of saying sinner climbs, but I've come to realize that there are no sinner climbs. In fact, the whole world is insane. The entire world is insane.
The whole world
our what's it called? Our insanities are just different. Our insanities are different, but the whole world is insane, and I will explain that soon. So, because we often sit here and we do the sinner climb abroad, sinner climb this, sinner climb that. My dear, see, the entire world is insane. Everybody is mad. But the insanities are different. The insanity we suffer from in Nigeria is different from the one they suffer from in the UK. The one in UK is different from the one in America.
Yeah, or Canada.
In America, racism is still so high and highly pronounced. And again, police brutality is still very high, especially amongst the blacks, shown towards blacks. And we see that every day. You know, the fact that they allow an average American own a gun is a risk in itself, is a risk. Do you know, I was watching Discovery ID one day. That's a channel you don't even want to watch. That's a channel you don't want to watch if you don't want to see the dirtiness of America. Because you just start seeing crimes, and the way it's so, like, you'll be wondering, the serial killers, and you know, you'll be wondering the way someone can just walk in and just shoot people, like the way someone would just sit on the roof and just be shooting people. Why? He just feels like it and he has access to a gun. It's mad. The fact that an average person can have access to guns is just mad. Like, how is that sane? That means you can be driving on the road and someone can hit you and you guys start yelling on each other, and he just feels upset. He just pulls out his gun and he'll just shoot you. Pata, he will go to jail. And so he'll be out again after how many years? Well, he may spend the rest of his life in jail anyway. But do they really care? The point is that they have access to guns, and this is a risk in itself. That's one madness in America. Let me show you one madness in the UK. It is called knife crime.
Wow.
The knife crime in London is mad. As in, is mad, especially in London.
So knife violence versus gun violence.
In fact, this one is not amongst teenagers. Oh my God. They join gangs, they carry knives, stab each other, sometimes stab a random stranger. Do you know they can just stab someone for the sake of it, just for the fun of it? You know, now at some point, the thing spreads to Manchester. It's always the headache of every prime minister. It's always the headache of every prime minister in the UK. The knife crime. It's always in fact, till today, they've not found a solution. But let me tell you the shocking part. You won't read this on the news. But if you're in the UK and you take the bus or the train, your metro newspaper, you will see everything written there. The metro newspaper is free. So you will see it written. They will tell you another boy stabbed, another teenager stabbed. I wake up every day and I read these things and I'm like, what the heck is going on? At some point, when it started happening in Manchester, and I stay late in my office. And sometimes I go home around 2 a.m. and my house is not that far, so I just stroll home. I just walk home. Do you know that at some point I was so scared that I will be looking behind me to check if anyone is coming? It even affected my church. A boy in my church was stabbed. Nigerian parents, they traveled to the UK for a better life and their son was stabbed. He almost died though. His intestine spilled out. He used his hands to pick it up. I'm serious. He used his hands to pick it up, ran to the roadside, then fell there. Then they rushed him. Thank God for emergency services that is top notch in the Western world.
The healthcare system there works.
Of course, the healthcare system works. That's why I said the insanities are different. Now, so you choose our insanity here. Healthcare is dead. But guess what? I grew up in Lagos. I'm a Lagos boy. I have never walked on the streets of Lagos, even to 12 midnight, and been afraid of my life. Been afraid that I could be stabbed. Never. But I felt like that in Manchester. I was wondering, am I not supposed to be in a better world? What the heck is going on? I felt like that each time I walk home at 2 a.m. I'm always looking back to be sure no one is coming behind me. But I never felt unsafe when I was in Lagos. Never, despite how mad Lagos is. Let's even imagine that someone wants to steal from me in Lagos. Pata pata is your phone he wants. Once you give him your phone, he's not going to do you anything. He will go away. But let me tell you the difference here. Someone who feels like stabbing you because he does not like the color of your skin, he's going to stab you. He doesn't care whether you have a phone or not. That's the problem.
That one is deep. Oh.
It's very, very deep. It's very deep. So that's why I told you there are no sinner climes and insanities. That the entire world is mad.
So what would you tell your
our insanities
in
are
Africa
just
or what?
different.
What's your submission?
Well, the truth of the matter is, in terms of healthcare, better opportunities, definitely the Western world is far better. That's why, if you see, I'm defining them. So in terms of these things, of course, it's better. You have better opportunities, healthcare system. Imagine that boy's life that was saved. His intestines spilled out and he's still alive. He shared the testimony himself with his mouth when he was fine and he came to church and he shared it. If that had happened in Nigeria, that guy is dead. Just forget, he's dead. His intestine is outside. He don't finish. People will just come and say, hey, yeah, oh yeah,
they will even snap video, they will do Snapchat.
They will just carry phone. Oh, hey, I give That's what they're going to do. Rather than call an emergency line or try to save him, no, then sometimes they carry them anyhow because they are not trained, they are not educated. The public is so uneducated in this part of the world. So they won't know what to do first. In the Western world, everyone has some understanding of first aid, what you do when there's such a thing. You barricade the place, or there is a way you carry the patient or whoever is affected. You carry the person, because they've been taught all these things in school or at some point. But in this part of the world, my dear, nobody knows anything. They will grab your hand. One person will be grabbing, and all those things can even complicate your matter. And so, yes, I went to the UK, right, because I wanted better education. When we list out the things that we want, yes, the Western world is far better. Better education, better economic opportunities, better healthcare. That healthcare is so key, because when you look at the life expectancy of those from this Western world, you discover that it's in the 80s, 85, 82. Do you know the life expectancy in Nigeria? 55.
30 years short.
55 is our life expectancy. And it's 80 something in the UK and the US. I will tell you something. It's not because they have better genes. It's because they have healthcare systems that preserve people that should have died. That healthcare systems keep them alive. There are people that they are on machines and they are still breathing. Such sophisticated gadgets are not in Nigeria. Imagine that the person is in Nigeria, he would have died. The doctor will say, sorry, there's nothing we can do. But in the UK, they will create a device and put it inside you. You will still be breathing. They will keep you alive for as long as possible. So they have technology to extend your life. And that's why their life expectancy is like that. It's not because maybe they have better genes or better, no, it's just healthcare, technology, everything works out and it's available for everyone.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing this much thus far. So this is the last question for today. I think we've had a very interesting talk thus far. So the last question is this. Some people are already engaging me on WhatsApp. This is a question.
I can see that someone is scared because of what I said. Please don't be scared.
You should make clarification. Now, can I say something, Dr. Babajide? Can I say something?
Okay.
I have gotten this like people have asked me, they are killing in America. You are in America. They are killing in TikTok in Canada. Like people make this complaint, and every time people say they are scared, this is what I say: where is safe?
Exactly.
Where exactly is safe? I mean, look at how a peaceful Lekki protest became Lekki massacre. I mean, who could have imagined that such a peaceful, jolly, exciting, bubbly protest that was trending on social media, that celebrities were coming to sing, that folks were just, tweeting about here and there. How can such a peaceful protest over the night? I mean, it was a sudden metamorphosis. I mean, I can't believe it. It changed from a peaceful protest to something that nobody wants to even remember in the history of Nigeria, among many other events that has happened in that country. And we might not have racism the way it is in other countries, but we have intertribal conflicts. We even have within the state racism. If a Modakeke in Osun State,
well, but that happened long ago.
That was long ago, but the vendetta still remains. The vendetta still remains.
I think they have been living peacefully since then. I think so.
Of course. Well, let's say on the surface, but some people who still hold some of these grudges, they hold them. But I'm just trying to help, whosoever it is that is scared to understand that.
Oh, no, it's just the reality. I always tell people, let's face facts. These things occur.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's just the reality. These things occur. So don't always feel like once you get abroad, your life, getting abroad, everything. No, realize, exactly. Realize that there are issues you have to deal with. The challenges you dealt with at home might not be the challenges you deal with here, but there are issues you have to deal with. Absolutely. And you must be strong enough to surmount them so that you can make it where you are. You are a Nigerian, you are supposed to make it anywhere. So don't be afraid.
We always make it. I mean, I can assure you, Africans always make it. I mean,
yeah, so that's just the truth and the reality.
We always do. So lastly, I guess this is the question that so many people have been waiting to hear. Somebody messaged me and said, this has been a great session, but I have not heard anything about scholarship. Well, we decided to leave the best for the last. Even though we've been talking scholarship, I guess people just want you to hand them that formula. Oh yeah, put it in my head. Give me the fish. They don't want to learn how to fish. But just to say that, I mean, so we know we have also addressed this. The last question is, what scholarships would you recommend that scholars position themselves for? And do you have specific recommendation or recommendations?
Well, okay, so I will just, this is how I'm going to recommend based on your grade. So I would say if you have a 2-1 to first class, I recommend Commonwealth scholarship, especially Commonwealth shared scholarship. I recommend MasterCard Foundation scholarship. I recommend Erasmus Mundus scholarship. I recommend these three. If you have a 2-1 to first class. Now, if you have a 2-2 and you have research experience, that research experience will be what is your strength now, because that 2-2 is low. But if you have research experience, that means you've published papers, you have a number. Because I remember one client we are helping right now. She has a 2-2, but she has published up to 5 papers. As I'm talking to you right now, someone in the US has already accepted her. Yeah, and she had a 2-2. But there has to be something you have that you have to leverage on that is strength, because 2-2 is low. So there has to be something else. You can't say, I have a 2-2 and nothing else. What am I going to do? No, you have to go and build up something. Go and build up something. So in this girl's case, she has published like 5 papers. So she was so attractive.
Guys, you guys are following. Let me see the charts just so people are following what you're sharing.
Yeah, so if you have research experience, I recommend DAAD, D-A-A-D scholarship. DAAD for Germany. It takes you to Germany. That's what I recommend. That's 2-2, but with research experience. With that is not hell-bent on your grade. They look at your overall qualification, but they are so particular about research experience. So if you have publications, you've done some research, then that is good for you. DAAD. You can Google and read up more.
I want someone to volunteer and articulate, repeat or kind of write down what Dr. Babajide has stated thus far. So if you finish with the first class to 2-1, focus on Commonwealth, Shivni, MasterCard, right?
And Erasmus Mundus.
And Erasmus Mundus. So guys, I want some of you to write that in the chat so some people can also take notes. And then if you have published papers, right, just like you said, those who have papers that they are published.
Yes. So if you have a 2-2 and you have research experience,
if you have
publications
and research experience,
yes, I suggest that you try that. DAAD.
Okay.
Now, if you have a 2-2,
please mute yourself. Go on, sir.
Okay. Now, if you have the 2-2 and you have, should I say, leadership experience, voluntary experience, or community development experience.
Like us,
that means maybe you
community developer.
Maybe you run an NGO,
where you are helping Nigeria,
or you run a social enterprise, where you are supporting your community. There is just something about leadership or community development that you are doing, and you have a 2-2. I suggest you try Chevening. Chevening will write 2-1 on their application page, but they are not strict about it.
Awesome.
The moment they see that you have a lot of experience when it comes to community engagement, community support and development, they'll give you a chance. So a good example is Chevening. So try Chevening for that. Now, if you have a 2-2 and your leadership experience is not that great, community development is not that great, your research experience is also not great, but you still want to do something, you still want to study, I suggest that you try GRE, do GRE, score a minimum of 300, then email some professors in the US. And your email title should capture your GRE score. And then write your email message. Should not be more than 400 words. Should not be more than 400 words. If it is too lengthy, it's too much. Nobody has time. Absolutely. Make sure it's not more than 400 words. Paragraph 1 should introduce yourself, what you do currently, then your academic background. You hold a degree in and talk about your bachelor's work. Your bachelor's work was this is what you did. The results showed this, that. Right now, I want to further my education to master's level. Explain why, and explain the specialization you are considering. Also go to another paragraph dedicated to the man or the woman and say that you have come across his website and his web page, his profile. You've seen what he does. Mention maybe one of his research works that is similar to what you want to do. Mention what you found. Mention what you found exciting about it. Maybe he used the methodology that
I always tell my scholars them. I hope they are here and listening.
So mention something. Maybe it was his methodology, or maybe it was even the conclusion of the work that was really interesting. But write it in a genuine way. Write it in a genuine way. Don't write it in a way like you are just trying to fill up space. Write it in a way like you really understood what he did and you really liked it, and explain why you want him to supervise you. And attach your CV. Don't attach any other thing, just your CV, because your CV will contain everything.
Yeah.
So that means ensure that your CV is properly done. If your CV is not well done, Jeko Jino, if it is not well done and you send half-cooked CV there, Nagbegeo,
Yes,
because even if he has read your email and he likes it and he clicks on the CV and he goes, oh my days, he's not going to reply. So one thing I also want you to know is a negative reply is a reply. Is better than no reply. So if he writes you and he says, thank you for your email, unfortunately, I don't have funding right now, or thank you for your email, unfortunately, my lab is full, I can't take in anybody right now. It is good, it's a good sign. The fact that he took out time to enter and he sent you a message, that's a good sign. But if it does not reply at all, that is what is actually bad. So if you are getting negative replies like my lab is full,
you are doing something,
then that should encourage you, because it means that he likes you. It's just that there's nothing he can do.
And if he does not have funding for you for that term, it doesn't mean that he will never have funding for you.
Of course,
I just want to say this, just to add to all that you have shared thus far. Like in my case, when I started off, I finished with the first class. Even though I wanted to study law, I didn't get to study law. Emma Pate work for me. It's just, let me tell you the first class. I wanted a law degree, right? And I got into school, I was not admitted for law. Not because I couldn't have made law, but because, that time, you don't even know how to use internet. It's only book you'll be reading in secondary school. So I had someone who helped with the processing. We were not aware of when the deadline for UI for law program was, and somehow I missed it. And I also didn't know anyone in the system who could also support, since I already had an averagely, meritable result from my secondary school. And long story short, I didn't make the law list. So there were some other programs that were open. I did not want English. And by the time I was ready to pick, I had classics, history, linguistics, and some other courses with the TICS behind them. Now, I took classics because there was someone who said, classics is a good course. Bola Ige studied classics and then went to study law. That's how they kind of bobo us and make us feel like if you go and study classics, you are a protege of, Bola Ige. So in my small mind, I started feeling myself, hey, let me go and do classics, from classics to law. But somehow I finished classics, went for my master's. I didn't go back to do the law that I wanted then. But now when I began the process, I started with Shivning. I started with Commonwealth, and just like you have shared, I had no one to guide me. So I would move from one scholarship application to another, and to another, and to another. I was just dancing like I was a promiscuous applicant. And I say promiscuous because I was going from A to B to C to D. Lack of clarity, lack of strategy, there was no sense of direction. So I would do this, once I fail once, I will move on to another. Once I fail once, I'll move on to another. It got to a point that I told myself that, you know what, I will leave all these other applications. I will focus on reaching out to potential advisors, which is the last strategy you shared. I just want to share a little more on that. And I realized that, okay, if I'm applying to Shivning, I am not directly connecting with any individual in the school. It is really not necessary. It is for me to apply to the board. But when I saw that cold emailing professors through letter of introduction would help me connect to people that may never know me, but would at least respond to my email, I wanted to see how the whole thing would be going gradually. Like I wanted that, gradual face-to-face feedback, or step-to-step, face by face or step by step feedback. And that was what got me stuck to the idea of applying by reaching out to potential advisors, which is something that I now teach. And in my case, if I had not written GRE and every other thing, but I had a resume and I was able to just articulate everything, write my letter of introduction, state what I find interesting in the work of the professor. And imagine that if a lot of people can also commit to not just looking at, government funded opportunities, but connecting with school specific opportunities that many people have not really opened their eyes to. Because as a matter of fact, you don't find links of these opportunities around. Nobody is sharing. Like, that professor really will not go out and start sharing on Twitter that I now have funding, I now
Yeah.
have this, I'm looking for candidates. They are usually too busy, but they're always excited when people reach out to them. I have a scholar who has never applied, over 40. We worked together and the person cold emailed a professor. He didn't write GRE. He was even too scared of writing GRE. But because he has an amazing research interest, guess what? About medicine in the field of biological science. The professor just took interest because he's the only about medicine researcher in that institution. In less than 2 3 weeks of interaction, he scheduled the scholar for a Zoom call. And after the Zoom call, the rest is now history. And that is the magic behind, cold emailing professors, just like you shared. And it's so important that, I mean, what will you say to a professor when you don't know your application story? I always tell people that if you do not know, if you have not defined a motivation behind your reaching out, or what exactly are you reaching out for, which I always call this the application story. What do you say? How do you build connection? How do you identify that you have something that, that is in one way or the other connected to what the professor is working on? And so I guess and I believe that folks have a lot of work to do. I know some people might be waiting for, share me the link, tell me the name of the school. These schools are online. We don't even need to start mentioning all of these things. These links are there, but it's not enough to keep clicking on links. I always tell people, stop clicking on links. Talk to people who you need to talk to, if in case you need that genuine clarity and a sense of direction within a specific frame of, specific period of time. And so someone was asking for your contacts. So there's a message that
Oh,
I think I have a message there that they can follow you on all social media platforms. So you might just want to, just talk about your social media handles, where they can meet, where can they find you? Where do you wake up and sleep? Where is your
well,
presence on social media?
I'm everywhere actually, apart from Twitter. Oh my
So the
God.
name, what name
I'm not
should they
I'm not
search
a
for?
I'm not a Twitter person. And
What
Twitter
name,
said,
what name should they search for?
well, I'm on Facebook. It's Macaulay Babajide Milton.
Okay, please,
I
someone
am
should write
on
that in the chat. Macaulay,
uh,
okay, can you repeat that?
Macaulay Babajide Milton. Macaulay, Macaulay, not EY, AY. So Macaulay Babajide Milton. Thank you very much, Aminu. So that's my name on Facebook. On LinkedIn, where I'm also very active, I'm Babajide Milton Macaulay, PhD.
Mm.
Um, Babajide Milton Macaulay, PhD. That's LinkedIn. And I'm also on Instagram. Instagram is Macaulay BM.
Hey,
At
you're on
Macaulay BM.
Instagram. What are you doing on Instagram,
I'm also
doctor?
on Instagram. Yeah, the only social network I'm not on is LinkedIn. I'm not just like,
Twitter.
Twitter. I just don't like Twitter because of the unruly nature of that space.
Mm.
I've just tried to stay
They
away
drag
from
people.
Twitter. But funny thing is, a lot of people keep telling me, "Oh, you need to come to Twitter, to Twitter." I'm like, I beg you, what I'm looking for, I found already on Facebook and LinkedIn.
Mm.
And they
Stay
keep
where you
telling
are
me,
wanted.
but the impact is going to be massive on Twitter. Now, LinkedIn and Facebook I did, where a whole powerful Oba find me.
Mm-hmm.
So, and awarded me. So I don't need to be on Twitter,
You don't need to be
but
everywhere. You don't also need to be everywhere,
I understand the Twitter drive. I get it, but maybe I'll think about it.
Mm. Thank you so much. So let's just ask.
Uh,
just for fairness, is there anyone who has a question or questions? We will take 3 questions before we leave this meeting. While we're waiting for questions, you can get the replay to today's session on our YouTube channel. So if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, make sure that you subscribe. You find the replay uploaded there. So we're waiting to have people, or 3 to 4 people, ask questions. If you cannot speak, you can as well just drop your question in the chat. I'm going to try and read the chat right now. But if you are bold enough to speak, just unmute yourself and let's have you, or you can raise your hand at least. And if I'm able to see that anyway. So you can raise your hand and unmute yourself and ask question. So Oladimeji Ayodeji, please unmute yourself and start speaking.
All right. Thank you very much, Doctor and Mrs. Bisola Miriam.
Thank you.
We really appreciate you. So, very quick one. I've been following Doctor on FB and LinkedIn for some times now, and he's part of why I had to relocate to Akure. I'm telling you. So, and I'm hoping to meet him very, very, very soon. I have your mail, and I'm going to send a code mail to you very soon, sir. So
no worries.
And then my question now is, how about the last how do I put it now, scholarship stocks you had? I could not afford it, so to speak. But then I want to ask, how soon will you roll out another scholarship section at Illumania? Yeah.
Yeah, okay, thank you so much. Don't mind us. This year has been ridiculously busy because we are working on something. We are working on a solution that by the time we launch it out, the whole world will just be like, these guys again. What is happening? It's just that I can't let the cat out of the bag yet.
I know.
The thing has been done, but we are testing it. We are testing it right now. But I promise that in July, we will do this the scholarship essay class. I think you're talking about the virtual class that we did last year, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're very correct.
Yes, we will try to do at least one. If we can do 2, we'll try to do 1. Before the end of July, we will come up with 1. So definitely,
all right,
we will announce that.
That will be very good, sir.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
We have another person, Blessing Fayemi. Please unmute yourself and ask your question. Blessing Fayemi, unmute and go ahead.
Yeah. Good evening, ma. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Okay. Please, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, I'm telling you.
You are not speaking, muted.
Someone is not muted.
I'm trying to look for that person so we can mute the person. Who is the person? Has anyone discovered who the person is?
I think it's Adiwole Bemini.
5,000. Oh, okay. So go on, Madam Blessing.
Okay, thank you so much, ma. Thanks for the teaching. I've learned a lot today. So I want to ask, I sent my questions to the chat and box now, but I want to ask that is it compulsory to write this GRE when trying to apply for a fully funded scholarship as a first class graduate? So I want to know that. And number 2, I want to know if there is this belief that scholarship opportunities that are not open to, like, they are not really scholarship opportunities for non-STEM students, because there's some scholarship opportunities that I'm seeing online and I'm finding it difficult to see one that relates to my previous course of study.
What did you study?
study. Like I studied public administration,
Okay.
so I need a scholarship that is related to public policy because I have my drafts already. I have SOP. I give it to somebody to
So
check.
let's answer your question so we can allow other people ask
Okay, so I
questions.
want to know
Number
what should
one,
not
is the
students.
GRE compulsory? Number
Yes,
two, are there fully funded opportunities for people in the non-STEM area? Isn't that correct?
yes, yes.
Good.
Yeah, thank
Okay.
you.
You're welcome. So,
So for the
doctor,
first one,
mhm,
for the first question, since the COVID-19 struck, many universities in the US have started dropping GRE.
yes.
They have started dropping GRE. So GRE is not compulsory. The reason I mentioned that 2-1, because I want you to pay attention. When I said 2-2, 2-2 that doesn't have leadership or community development experience, 2-2 that doesn't also have research experience should write GRE. That is what I said. Why? When you write the GRE, it helps your case, even though they are not looking at it per se, but it makes the lecturer look at your score and feel you are a decent student. That's why I always advise that if you have 2-2 and you don't have research experience or this other experience I mentioned, go and write GRE. Have a minimum score of 300. The point you would notice that I've been making here is that you need something as strength alongside that 2-2. There has to be something you are bringing to the table that will serve as strength, because a 2-2 is no strength. So there has to be something alongside it that you are bringing to the table. That's why I mentioned GRE. But if you don't have a 2-2, if it's a 2-1 that you have, please go ahead. You may not even need a GRE at all.
Mhm,
At all. If the man likes you, he will tell you to go on.
mhm.
So that's the reason why I mentioned GRE the other time. However, some universities still insist that you write GRE. When you end up with such schools, even if the lecturer or even if the professor likes you and is ready to accept you, he will still tell you that you need to go and write GRE. So if you choose such schools, you will still have to write GRE. So that's it.
So I just want to
Oh,
say
and one
something
more
very
thing.
quickly. Okay, go on, sir.
Sorry?
Go on.
And one thing, some universities will also request for English tests, particularly TOEFL. But I have noticed that once you write GRE, most of the time, they can waive TOEFL for you.
Exactly.
They will waive the TOEFL automatically once you have GRE. So that's another thing you need to know. But it's not compulsory. The head and tail of the question is, it is not compulsory. It all depends on the school you choose, the qualification you have, because GRE can make you appear better, and that's just the conditions that I will advise GRE.
And I just want to chip this in very quickly. In my case, when I started applying, I thought that, okay, so for the program I applied for, as at the time I was applying, they said they were not going to waive the GRE. So I had to write the GRE. And it was just for one school. But there were other schools on my list that did not ask for GRE. And so there were other schools that did not ask for English or, TOEFL or IELTS, while there were some that insisted. There were some others that said that if I get into the program, I can take a test of English training and then I'll be good. So in some cases, you have a combination of all these different kind of schools. And that is why if you came to my last free clarity call, which was last week Friday, we always have this every Friday. What did I share there? I said that there are different ways to reduce expenses to schools abroad, one of which is to identify one, schools with application fee waivers, because the reality is application fee cost is a lot. Imagine that you have to apply to so many. Can you actually defray the cost of all the schools you apply to? And that is something you have to bear in mind when you are not applying for government funded programs like Shielding, Commonwealth, and the rest. They don't require that you pay application fee, or so I believe. I mean, to the best of my knowledge. And the second thing you need to also know is there are schools that would waive standardized tests like GRE, TOEFL, and or IELTS, and or maybe the GMAT itself. Why? Because since the COVID, many schools have partially or completely waived these requirements. Some have waived both, some are waiving one. So you need to, be alert and position yourself, get the right information so that you know what to do. So if you want to watch the replay of that video we did last week during last week's clarity call, I would really recommend that you go to this YouTube channel and get more insight. The video is still hot and fresh. And I also mentioned there that if you're looking to apply for an MBA, there are schools with that will give you GRE codes. So what is a GRE code? A GRE code is just like some alphabet and numbers, like a coded digits or set of digits that you will get from some schools. When they give you that code, when you're supposed to register for an exam like the GMAT, you will not pay money. Rather than use your credit card or your ATM to pay, or whatever card you use, debit or credit, you just impute the code, because the GMAT exam recognizes that there are people with financial difficulties. And so if you cannot, articulate your challenge or challenges to some schools very well, especially for people looking for business degrees. I've applied for MBAs before and I've written the GMAT before. So I'm sharing this based on experience, and you can watch the replay of that video. So we'll take one more question and then we would go.
There is one more question she asked that I've
Okay,
not
now
answered.
the second
Which is the
question is about
non-STEM.
her field,
Which
about
is the
non-STEM. I am in the
non-STEM.
non-STEM. So in
So,
one word, there are opportunities for people in the non-STEM. But doctor, what do you think?
Let me just add this. Bisola, sorry, just let me add this.
Okay.
For the non-STEM, you are very wrong. You said there are no opportunities. You are very wrong. You have not been checking.
Yes.
Commonwealth funds policy, development studies. Check the Commonwealth shared scholarship. You will see the different courses you can apply for. There are many policy and development focused courses there. Same goes for Erasmus Mundus. There are many programs focused on policy. I even reviewed some of them some months ago. I reviewed some of them. So you've not been checking, you are just listening to people. You are not doing your investigation. So that is not true. For public policy, there are loads of scholarships out there. Erasmus, Commonwealth, you will find them there. And there are more. So please do proper investigation and check out.
Absolutely.
There are opportunities.
And just to add to that, I am in the non-STEM. I'm pursuing a communication degree. I did not study communication in UI at the first degree level or the second degree level. And what did I use to position myself? It was just my community service work as someone in the non-profit space. Even though I had a first class, it didn't matter because I'd never taken the required courses for me to be competitive for that program. So I was just able to prove my worth using my application and my extracurricular experience. So, and that is why it is important that you know the basis of your application story. What would you base your application on? Would it be your academic preparedness or your professional preparedness or your extracurricular preparedness or research preparedness, as it were? So you need to know what your application story is. And that's why, if of course you're still here and you're live and direct and you want to learn what an application story is, just reach out via this number and you get a free download of this book, where you would find a section where where there is a section where you can learn about the application story. I'm going to send that link to everyone tonight to download the book. By midnight, the link will no longer be accessible. So if you want that link, make sure you reach out tonight. And if you've been into this session, you've learned a lot. The replay, like I said, will be on the YouTube channel. One session will not give you 100% clarity. I can tell you confidently. They said faith cometh by hearing and hearing the word of God. So you need to keep digging. You need to be around those who know more than you. And thank God that you can connect with Dr. Babajide on LinkedIn, on Facebook. So I want you to go and connect with him right now. don't procrastinate, because if you procrastinate, you might forget. Go do that right now. And if you're not too busy, every Friday, join us 9 p.m. for a free 1 hour session every Friday on my YouTube channel. So this is the link. You can just, snap the screenshots, do whatever you have to do just to make sure that you join the sessions. And most importantly, the replay of today's session will be uploaded. And if you're not subscribed to that channel, there's no way you can watch the replay. So, doctor, what are your final words for us tonight? I see that there are some people who are still asking questions, but time has gone. Oh, we can't do everything in one meeting.
Time has gone. Yeah.
I want doctor to go. So, doctor, just tell us what your final words are, so we can leave.
I would say now, my final words to scholarship enthusiasts, I would just say, first of all, develop a thick skin. Rejection is normal. It's very, very normal. The best of us got a rejection email. So don't see, you have the permission to sulk for 3 days. After that, pick yourself up and continue. So don't give up. Don't give up. Try again. Number 2, have a plan. Have a plan. Number 3, stop listening to people. This one told me this, that one told me that. Check, use your phone, Google, go to the website, check yourself with your koro eyes. Stop listening to people. This one said this one said that one. No, check it yourself. Read it off the website and know what is obtainable. Also, if you can get a mentor to lead you, someone that has been there before, please do. It's important. Mentorship is key. It will reduce a lot of errors that you make. It will reduce a lot of errors. So yeah, and may the odds be in your favor.
Amen.
So yeah, that's it. Thank you so much, Bisola, for having me.
Thank you so much, doctor. Can we all give doctor a standing ovation, whether virtual, standing up, whichever way? Let's give doctor, an ovation. Like, I want to stop sharing. I'm trying to look for doctor right now. So guys, let's see you guys celebrate Dr. Babajide. I can't see you again, doctor. I can't see you on my screen. Where are you? Okay, I can see you now. I can see you. I can see you. Thank you so much for blessing us.
Thank you very much, sir.
And for teaching
Thank
us.
you so much. Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Amazing.
Thank you so much.
Yes, so please unmute yourself, guys. Unmute.
Really appreciate it,
I
sir.
love it. We appreciate
so much,
it.
sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Babajide.
Thank you so much, sir.
Guys, everybody start.
Thank you, Professor MDM.
Thank you.
Mr. Owen.
Oh,
Thank you very
much. Well, thank you so much, doctor. God bless you. Generational blessing follow you. Money follow you. Thank you for everything. We appreciate it.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you,
for
Professor
having me.
MDM. Thank you, Smart Bisola.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bisola.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you, Mrs. Bisola.
I appreciate it. And thank you for staying this long. I didn't know that we would still have
My hand is still up and it's paining me, but good
I
night.
didn't expect we're going to be this.
He's talking.
My hand is still up and it's paining me, but good night, guys.
So sorry, we can't take more questions. So sorry, we can't take more questions.
Well,
I'm calling to you.
What's
up?
No problem.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining.
All right, thank you so much.
We need doctor's number for WhatsApp. It's more easier to contact him there.
Well, once you DM him, he will send you his number personally. Like, reach out to him. Once you DM him on LinkedIn, he's very active on LinkedIn. So I've given you a hand.
I've contacted him on Facebook, but he hasn't responded.
Go to LinkedIn. I just gave you free strategy. Go to LinkedIn.
Person talking to me. What's your name? What's your name?
Name and face.
Emmanuel what? Emmanuel what?
Harry.
Harry. Harry.
Where's Emmanuel's face?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to look for you. Don't worry.
Yes, thank you.
All
All
right.
right. So guys are making amazing connections, and it starts
Thank
from
you.
one
Thank
connection.
you, doctor. Thank you,
You're
Mrs.
welcome. Thank you
Bisola.
so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Yeah,
everyone.
thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. Good night, everyone, and make sure you get
Yes,
the
we did.
replay on YouTube. Doctor, I'll
Okay.
give you a call right away. Good night.
Okay.
Obrigado.
No worries. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right.
Thank
Okay,
you, sir.
please, the link.
Yes, I will
The
make
link for the PDF.
the link available via chat. Just chat the phone number that I shared. If you're still there, just this is my screen, so you can just go get the link right now. I mean, look at the screen, you will find my phone number there, and I can share the link to the video with you. Alternatively, just subscribe to the channel. Once the video is up, you will find it there. So those are the options. Either you what, click on this, I mean, save this phone number, or you know, just type this in on YouTube and you will land on the channel, whichever way. But for those on my WhatsApp contact list, I'm going to send them a link to the replay of the video. Have a wonderful night rest, guys, and I'll see you later. Bye. God bless you all.
God bless you. Too.
Cheers.
Yes.
Yes. Thank